Hi everyone, welcome to the Internet Storyteller, where I share the latest, greatest, and sometimes the most horrific stories of the internet. Please do like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. Our stories from today will be taken from the Choosing Beggars subreddit, and our very first story today is entitled Excess Baggage Choosing Beggar. Wife and I were flying home just before Diwali last year. It's a major festival here in India and a busy season for travel. In anticipation of the rush, we reached the airport a little early and got in line to check in our bags. Once we got to the front of the line, we were directed to one of the counters. Behind a guy traveling alone with just a single piece of check-in baggage. Excellent, I thought. This should be done with quickly and we can move on to security, or so I thought. As we lined up behind him, let's call him Choosing Beggar, because that's what he turned out to be, he lugged his bag on the scale and handed over his ticket and ID to the airline employee at the check-in counter. Let's call her AE for airline employee. And the Choosing Beggar huffed as if to get this whole thing over soon. I should point out that Choosing Beggar was in his late 20s, early 30s, and looked pretty well off. Airline employee typed in his ticket details into her computer, looked at the scale, and scrunched up her face. Then this conversation ensued. Airline employee says, "I'm sorry, sir, your baggage is over the weight limit." Choosing Beggar says, "What? No, it's not." Domestic air travel here generally allows you to carry up to 7 kilograms cabin baggage and 15 kilograms check-in baggage. I sneaked a glance at the scale and Choosing Beggar's bag was 29 kilograms. Okay. So basically about twice the allowed amount for check-in baggage. Airline employee says, "Sir, your bag is almost twice the allowed weight. You have to pay the excess baggage fee to check in this bag." Choosing Beggar says, No, I fly all the time with this bag. It's not too much weight." Airline employee says, "I'm sorry, sir. The baggage weight restrictions are clearly mentioned on the ticket." Choosing Beggar says, "Come on, this is not too much. Just check it in, no?" Airline employee says, "Sir, it's against the rules. The excess baggage fees are, I don't remember how much, but it was definitely more than the cost of a ticket to his destination." Choosing Beggar says, No, I'm a regular flyer of this airline. How can you say this to me?" People at the other counters started gawking at the scene, and airline employee realized this guy wasn't going to listen to reason. Airline employee says, "Sir, if you'd like, I can reduce the excess baggage fee for 7 kilograms, which is your cabin baggage allowance. You will just have to pay for the remaining 7 kilograms. Choosing Beggar says, "What? No! Why should I pay for it? I carry this much all the time. Just check it in, no? Why are you wasting time?" Wife and I are incredulous. Indian airlines are usually pretty picky about check-in baggage and making you pay for the excess. This guy was already getting away with murder, but didn't realize his luck. At this point, airline employee finally had enough and called for her boss. Also, an adjacent counter opened up and beckoned us over. So now we got a side view of the fun. The boss says, "What seems to be the problem?" Airline employee says, the airline employee explains the situation. Choosing Beggar says, "Can you please just get this bag checked in quickly? I have a flight to catch." boss says, "Sir, we have very strict rules for how much baggage we can check in. This is too much. Did you check the weight allowance on your ticket?" Choosing Beggar says, No, you don't understand. I fly all the time. This is fine." The boss says, "Look, sir, the airline employee has already been very generous with you by discounting your excess baggage fee by half. If it were me, I would make you pay the whole amount. You have to pay the excess baggage fee or you cannot board the flight." Choosing Beggar, But... The boss looks firm. "I am amazed because this is India, and you never know when someone can claim to be related to some politician or bigwig and get you fired. But Choosing Beggar probably wasn't even smart enough to do that. While all this was happening, we got our bags checked in without incident. As we started walking towards security, we saw Choosing Beggar reaching for his wallet in defeat." Alright, the end. Wow. Yeah, you know what? I'm in general pretty sympathetic to travelers who don't want to pay the excess baggage fees or pay the fees associated with luggage that's too large. But in this case, I'm on the airline side. Okay. Our second story for the day is entitled, "Why are you not paying me for faulty items?" I've been lurking here forever, but it's time to finally share a story of my own. I worked as a supervisor in a video game store in the city. We also dealt with trade-ins on consoles and games. We have some strict enough rules when buying from people to ensure we can sell on actual decent equipment. Enter Choosing Beggar and his son. His son is about 14 and approaches the counter with an Xbox 360, a couple of controllers, and a few games. The son says, "I want to sell these." I say, "No problem. I'll just need an adult to make the transaction, as we don't allow people under 18 to sell in items for cash." The son fetches his dad, who seems annoyed by this. I say, "Great. I just need you to sign off on a few things. Here is X price we will offer if everything is working. We'll need to test the console and controllers before we can buy them. So if you want to return in 20 minutes or so?" The dad says, "I won't be coming back. He," referring to his son, "can pick them up and get the cash." I say, "I'm afraid not, as we need an adult to make the transaction." The dad is getting more annoyed. The dad says, "I have appointments to go to. I can't come back." I say, "Okay, well, we can keep the items for up to 2 weeks. If you want to return it another time, we'll test them and keep them here for you. The price I quoted you is a guaranteed price for 24 hours, but after that is subject to change. Is this okay?" This is something we must tell people leaving items with us, as we get price changes once a week. Prices in the store fluctuate based on supply and demand for items. The dad says, "Fine. We'll be back tomorrow for everything." Grand. We get to testing the items and see he failed to supply us with an HDMI cable for the Xbox. No big deal, we have our own for testing, but we need him to supply one to sell the console. We try phoning him to inform him of this, but we get no answer. We continue with testing the items. One of the controllers is faulty, and a couple of games are too scratched. We try to call again about the cable, but still no answer. The next day came and went. Choosing Beggar didn't come to collect the console. Again we tried. Nothing. Fine, whatever. About a week later, he returns. I say, "Oh hey, Choosing Beggar, We tested the items and we cannot take one of the controllers or these games. Choosing Beggar says, "Why not?" He then proceeds to start squinting at the scratched discs and inspecting the controller. I say, "The discs are in quite bad condition and the controller has been damaged from battery acid." Choosing Beggar says, "The games still work. I've seen them play them." I say, "I understand, but they are not in a condition that we could sell them in. A few small scratches are okay, but these are heavily scratched. Now, the amount we will pay you for the items is Y." Choosing Beggar says, "What? But you said X. Are you trying to scam me?" I say, "I am not. The price is reduced as we deducted the controller and the few games. We will also need you to provide us with an HDMI cable before we can buy the Xbox." Choosing Beggar says, "You could have told me that before I came all the way back here. Are you really telling me you don't have a spare cable?" I say, "We tried to call you a number of times to let you know. As for the spare cable, we do, but they are used for testing." Choosing Beggar says, "Just put one of those with it, or take one from another console." I say, "I'm not going to do that. You will need to provide us a cable yourself if you wish to sell the console. Alternatively, I can deduct the cost of a cable from the price I offered you and we will replace it." Choosing Beggar says, "Fine, do that. I still don't know why you aren't giving me X price." I say, "As I've said, minus the faulty items and the cost of the cable, it's now Y price. A couple of the game's prices have also changed." Choosing Beggar says, "What? You can't just change game prices as you want. This whole place is a scam." I said, "I told you when you were leaving the items." Choosing Beggar says, "I work for Blank City College and I'll make sure the students never shop here. You're scam artists." I say, "Do you want to sell these items or not?" Choosing Beggar says, "Not until you offer me a better price." I say, "I don't set the prices myself. The system..." Choosing Beggar says, "Oh, the usual BS. Get me your supervisor. He'll offer me better prices. He knows how important it is to keep customers happy. I actually know him, so unless you do me a better deal, I'll have you in big trouble." It's my time to shine. I had waited for this moment for months. I went in back for a few seconds to create the illusion and then calmly walked back to Choosing Beggar. Choosing Beggar says, "I said, get me your supervisor. Where is he?" I say, "Sir, I am the store supervisor. How can I help you today?" He's furious. He's shouting at the customers in the queue to take their business somewhere else. I'm calmly waiting for him to decide if he wants to sell or not. Choosing Beggar says, "Give me my items. We're not selling them." At this point, I feel bad for the kid who is here too. He wanted to trade them in to get some money for an Xbox One. He looks upset at the dad's decision to not sell. I say, "I'll give you your items, no problem, but I'm still prepared to offer you Y price for them." The kid is nodding and begging his dad to just take the money, and Choosing Beggar finally reluctantly agrees. Even while signing the documents to sell, Choosing Beggar has a lot to say. Choosing Beggar says, "You should be giving me more for these games. You buy it for A price and sell it for B to make a profit. I could just do that online." Congratulations, sir. You figured out basic business. Needless to say, I didn't ask him to leave a store review online. Okay, well, the end. I must say that this dad at least kind of listened to his son. So I feel good that this dad, even though he seems like quite the nasty character, he's at least sensitive and receptive to the needs of his son. So for that, I give him some credit at least. Okay, what did you guys think of these stories from Choosing Beggars? Did you guys like it? If you like these stories, please support the channel by liking and subscribing. Thank you so much. I am the Internet Storyteller. Bye.